Hello everyone and welcome back to Wander Freely. In today's video, I just wanted to go over our RV planner and how to use it because we are now in January. Everybody's using their planners and I just wanted to show you some quick tips and some how-to so that you can make the most out of your RV planner for this year. The first thing I want you to notice when you open up your planner is that we have a letter in there for you to get you inspired and ready for the new year, so make sure that you read that. And then the very next page is your important information. And I did not fill mine in, obviously, since I'm putting this on YouTube, but what I would like you to do is take a few minutes to just fill in this information so that you have it at your fingertips. And the most important thing here is the very first thing, which is Roadside Help. And that way, as you have your planner with you in your travels, you have that information as quickly as possible available to you. As you move forward on the next page, this is where you can keep some contact information of the people that you meet on the road. And then the next big one, and I know that you all are like, oh, that's great, a budget. I really want to fill that out. Thanks, Jen, for including that. But the truth is, if you just take the time, sit down, persevere with this, get this done, and then you can thank me later, okay? So this is all about your estimated budget. So this is a chance for you to sit down and fill in each budget item according to what you estimate your expenses to be. And then we're going to show you the trick of how that works together. After that, we start our very first month, and that is January. And I'm going to show you a look at mine. Here's my January, and as you can see, I've already written a lot of stuff in there. But each month, as you go to each month, start with the goals section. This is your dream big goals. And I put, let me see, 3 bullet points there for you to have 3 big goals for the month. And Chris and I have really found that if we set aside a little bit of time and make a list of our goals and things, and we just take a few of them, not a whole to-do list of 500 items that like you'll only get to half of them, or maybe even if that, but if you just focus on a couple of big items, it seems to work a lot better for us. So that's why we included this here. And you can see that I filled mine in for the month of January, and it is to deal with health insurance. Always fun when you're self-employed, but it's time for us to get a little more serious about that. And then also supplements for Chris and I. And usually at this time of the year in January, I like to sit down and evaluate what we've been taking, what we want to work on in the next year, and figure out a plan for that. So those are our dream big. That's what I'd like you to do first each month. And then below that you have notes of things that you need to do or notes that you need to take. After that, then it's just a matter of filling in your calendar as you please, and you can see I put some stickers in, and I'm loving these stickers. I hope you all are too already. I'm loving them because I feel like they really grab my attention as I look at the month, okay? And those stickers are just in the back of your book, and you have a ton of them there to use for everything from, you know, dentist appointments to your travel days and where you're headed. So take advantage of those to really draw attention. If you're traveling this month, make sure you record your stats at the bottom of the calendar so that you have things like your maintenance checklist and your road stats so that you can keep track of your mileage and all of those things. Also, now here's where the actual budget comes in. And what we'd like you to do is for the month, fill in your actual expenses for each item. And you'll see that each of these items matches the estimated budget. And Chris had a really good idea this year. He said, Jen, you should really put them on the same portion of the page so that when, if you want to compare the two, it's easy to do. You just slide that page forward and there you can compare. And the same for month to month. You can compare from month to month by just sliding that page a little bit. So you can thank Chris for that little bonus. And then finally, as you end your month, down here we have things we missed portion, and those are things that as you're traveling, there might be, you know, you might go to a place and there was a museum there and you didn't get to it. Of course, I would pick a museum, right? Chris would pick something completely different, but you know what I mean. And then you could write that down there, take notes, or maybe even a stop that you didn't get to on your way from here to here. There was a really cool place in between that you didn't know about and you learned about and you thought, oh, next time we should stop there. So make sure that you keep track of those things here as well, and it'll be so much easier for you as you look back on the year and your travels and as you're planning in the future to have all of that together and in one place, and it's going to make such a big difference. And while we're at it here, let's just take a look at the back. Once you get through all of the months, here, give you December, and I even gave you next year's January to make that transition go a little bit smoother for you. And then after that starts some of the worksheets that we've included. And the first one here is the trip itinerary, which is designed to help you either for a short trip or a long trip. You can do it either way, but it helps you to keep your information for the campground that you're going to stay at, so you have all of that in case you need to call ahead. If you put a deposit amount down, which sometimes you are required to do that, you want to keep track of that information so that then you know. And then also any attractions and things to help you to figure out your budget estimate for your time there, how many miles it's going to take you, so what your gas is going to be like. You know, we figured all that in so that you'd be able to really get a good look at planning and also your budget for your trip so that you can make even more trips possible. And we included several of those in there for you because we're hoping you do a lot of RVing in the new year. And then after that we have setup and tear down checklists, and that is new this year. What we did was we compiled our setup and tear down checklists and put them here for you to use as a guide, and then left you a blank one for you to fill out for yourself, because depending on what type of RV you have and your own particular needs, yours will look a little bit different than ours, but we gave you the base guideline there so that you can work off of that. Which I think will be really, really helpful. And then also next is short-term and long-term storage. It is really nice to have a checklist for this because you don't do it all that often, and there are certain things that you need to do to prepare your RV for short-term storage, and then long-term storage can look a little different than that. So again, we gave you all of our information, what we did, and then left you a space here to be able to add your own information in depending on your situation. Next up, we have a spring cleaning checklist, also new this year, to help you in the spring to get organized, and hopefully spring will be coming soon this year. We'll see. We still got a ways to go yet. The important dates, so anything that you have that you want to keep track of by month like that, there's a section here for you to do that. And the holidays for this year at a glance so that you can see them, and also for the next year, for 2019 as well, so that you can make plans, especially if you're doing RV, you know, you're trying to plan trips on certain weekends because of a holiday and you'll have extra days off, or the opposite of that, if you want to avoid those holidays because you want to avoid when everything is really crowded and go other times of the year. Then in the back we just have some notes sections. We have the very first one is part of that planning and goal setting for you, and that is dream big, your plans for the next year. So any travel plans, places that you want to visit, that's really what we'd like to encourage you to write down here so that you don't lose, you don't forget, and you have some goals so that then you're able to reach them for the next year. And then also we just have some blank note pages for you so that you can take care of, write down whatever it is that you need to write down. And that pretty much wraps it up. So those were just a few tips to help you to get the most out of your planner this year. Make sure that you're doing your budget, and will really help you to stay on track, and keep track of your mileage and those things as well. Trust me, it's going to pay so many dividends in the end, and you'll be so very glad that you did. So thanks so much for watching this video. Chris and I are going to head out. We're going to head over to our house where we're building our house and get some work done over there today. And I'll just show you today. It's kind of, we're camping in a winter wonderland. It's getting pretty brutal here. We're kind of, I think we're surviving the winter in the RV. It's debatable. Okay, well I hope you all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.